Okay, I'm going to attempt to show how in Moodle how students can submit assignments. This may be more than is necessary, but let's see what we've got here. First, you turn on editing in Moodle. And I'm going to go through and just in this topic, I'm going to the bottom of the screen and I'm going to select add an activity. And I'm going to add an assignment. And then it shows up adding new assignments. Under general, you would put the assignment name. If you need to put a description, you would do that. Availability will be that you're going to allow them to submit um, assignments on a certain date at a certain time, and then you're going to set the due date to a certain date and a certain time, which will mean that they cannot make a submission after that date. You allow submissions from this date, and you can enable or disable those. And then if you want to do a cutoff date, you can do that as well. Under submission types, it already has file submissions. That's what I always use. But if you want to do online text, that's possible. Or if you want to have a PDF submission. But file submissions will be a Word or any other kind of document that you would want them to submit. You can put a word limit on it. If you click this to enable, you can set the maximum number of files that you want them to upload depending on the assignment. The maximum size, 100 megabytes, is the biggest it will be. For most documents, that will be way more. And then you can also set the number of PDFs that you want them to submit, if that's your choice. 20 megabytes is a good size for that. I wouldn't change that. And if you want to do a cover sheet for the assignment, you can click on Add, and then you go here and choose the file, and you have a cover sheet that you've saved on your computer. You would choose that file, and it would show up here, and then you could just upload the file, and it would upload to that part of the assignment. Feedback types, I usually don't use that, but if you want to want them or you to have a chance to add feedback to an assignment after it's submitted, you can leave that checked, and then you will be able to do that, and they will be able to do it too, I believe. Submission settings, I usually don't check any of these. It's a little bit more aggravating for a student than have to do anything extra except just submit the assignment. But you can try some of these if you want to. Group submission settings, if you have a group that students are turning assignment as a group, that you can check some of these, check out some of these. Notifications. Notify graders, that would be you, about submissions. So I always check that when a student turns in a submission, I get an email that says that so-and-so has submitted their assignment. If I have the due date, I know that I can go to Moodle and look. I don't have to be notified if the submissions are late. I can see that. And then under the grade, depending on how you're going to grade the assignment, if it's a point grade, you can set the number of points right here. My classes are on a point scale up to 440 points, and so my assignments are anywhere from 5 points to about 30 points apiece, depending on the difficulty and size of the assignment. And you can set the kind of grading that you want to do. If you want to put a passing grade, you would put that right here, depending on how your grading system works. And then common module settings. Excuse me. As soon as you set this up and save it, it will show on your Moodle site. If you don't want it to show, you can hide it, but you will be able to go on to your Moodle site and click show later on. Restrict access. If you don't want them to look at it or see it until a certain time, you can add a restriction. It'll be a a date and a time that you can do that. But as soon as you save it and return to the course, if you have no restriction, it will already be there for them to see. And if you want to put tags, I've never done that, but you can enter some tags that will sort of identify your assignments. And then I don't know about competencies. If you have any competencies, you can type those in right here. And when you're finished with that, and I'm going to go back up here to the top and just give this an assignment. And see if it will allow me to save just that. Okay, and then I go back to my class and I see assignment 1 here, and if I go over to switch role to student, then I will be able to see what the students see when they click on this assignment. It has all the information here, and then when they are ready to add their submission, they would click right here and they would be able to add their document of submission and then save the changes, and then you would get the email, and your the assignment would show up when you look at, when you look at assignments. You can see the assignment. For instance, this is assignment 1. You click on assignment 1, and I'm still on student, so I'm going to return to my normal row so I can see what I will see. And you click on view all assignments, and the students who have turned in assignments it'll show up right here. So that is how you add an assignment and have the student submit it on Moodle.